Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to spend some time out here in the greenhouse repotting some things that need it. I have 3 different varieties of plants that I've had for several months. They're still in their nursery containers and they just need some attention. I also have a couple of project updates for you as well. A quick look at the greenhouse, not a tremendous amount going on at the moment, but that will soon change. I've got some seeds that are going to be planted this week, but I do have a success update on the lettuce seedlings. Isn't that just wonderful to look at this time of year? Some fresh seedlings, they look amazing. I just took the domes off of them today, so they're sitting to the side. I'll probably dome them for one more night because that heater does blow quite a lot and there's quite a lot of wind that comes this way, which is great. You do want to have some kind of air movement around them, but they're not hardened off or like ready for that yet, and I don't want to subject them to 24 hours of it. So I'll leave the domes off this afternoon and then I'll dome them again tonight, and then probably do that for one more night, and then I'll let them just be out to the air. But they look great. And I put 2 seeds in each one of these cells and went through the reasons why we want to at least put 2 in there just in case one of them doesn't germinate. In most cases, especially when you're buying fresh seed, they will both germinate. And you can see like in this tray, there's 2, 2, 2. There is 2 in this one as well. But it looks like this one, there's only 1. And this one, there's only 1. And they still have time. Sometimes, you know, a seed will come up a little bit later. Maybe it got planted a little bit deeper somehow. And then in this tray, looks like there's 2 in every single one except for this one right here. There's only 1. So once these put on just a tiny bit more size, I will be thinning them out. And then I did talk about how you can plant the 2 seeds still in the same cell, but further apart from one another, so that when you get ready to pot these or plant these out or pot them up, you can take the cell out and then split them in half so that you actually have 2. But in our case, we're growing these for head lettuce. 48 heads of lettuce. That's a lot for us. And I will be giving, you know, some to the chickens as well. They'll benefit from this, but I don't need to have 48 times 2. That's our first project update, which I'm very excited about. Now I want to show you the grass, the topiaries, and the tomatoes. The grass is coming up beautifully. If we get in there close, you can see it's really thickening up, looking so fresh. But this one right here, one of the 2 of them got in there and kind of roughed it up right there. So chicken wire will stay on there until there's not as much exposed soil. I mean, it's fairly thin in some spots, like right in here where they could still get in and dig. So we'll wait until it's just a bit thicker, and then the chicken wire will come off. And Benjamin has been very excited. He keeps asking me, can we play on the grass yet? That made me excited that he was excited about it. Topiaries, you know, we just pruned these and potted them up, but I'm just happy to report that it's been several days and they haven't dropped any more leaves. That's always a happy thing right after you get done repotting something and doing something as severe as I did, you know, trimming so much of these plants away. Sometimes it can just really shock a plant and they'll just defoliate. Oftentimes they'll come back, but it's kind of a shocking thing to see. So I'm happy that they're all looking good. I did water these today. I think they've been watered twice since we put them in here, and it's been about a week or so. And last update are the tomatoes that got hit by the freeze when the door was left open. None of the ones that I cut back are gonna make it, I don't think. I mean, there's still a lot of flexibility. Some of them even still look green, but I'm about ready to, I mean, they're not hurting anything sitting here, but I'm about ready to give up on the, you know, hoping they'll push any more new growth. The ones that survived it, I mean, you know, the leaves turned purple when that happened, but they're setting like flowers. So, you know, we'll see what happens with these. They don't look awesome, but I mean, yeah, I'm happy that we started as many as we did. That way we at least have something to show for the project. We're really working at keeping the temperature a little bit more consistent in here, paying closer attention. You know, even with the door shut, the hose was frozen on the other side of the greenhouse the other day. I mean, when you're trying to grow tomatoes, I want quite a bit of heat. That's not really a great thing, but we'll see what happens with that. And then here are the plants we're gonna be repotting today. We've got helichrysum icicles, and I'll talk more in depth about each one of these as we start repotting. So we've got these. We've got the Rudbeckia right down here, which the flowers, they're still real pretty. I've been cutting flowers, little bundles of them, but the plant themselves look pretty poor. It might result in potting them up and cutting them back, we'll see. And then we've got these coral carpet sedum, which I just repotted a few of them the other day, and I'd like to get the rest of them done because they were fairly root bound. And I might start a few whitefinch or Orlea seeds in here just to see what happens. They're a cold season, like a cool season annual white flower. They're gorgeous. They self-seed beautifully. So I'm thinking we might just try that. But I wanted to get these helichrysums done first. So there's the tag right there. They grow roughly 16 inches tall by 20 inches wide. They're a beautiful blue silvery color. They look really pretty with pinks, I think. They look pretty with any color. You can put them with reds and warm colors as well. But I thought if we could get these to grow on a little bit more this winter, we can use them in some spring planters. Let's take a look at their roots. Yeah, look at that. This plant needs more space. So we're gonna take them from a 4-inch to a 1 gallon today. Isn't this the best kind of project to do the day after Christmas too? I don't know what it is. You know, you get that kind of influx of things, you know, gifts that people have given you, and the kids have new toys they're inside playing with right now. But I always feel like cleaning out, organizing, taking care of the things that I already have that just need a little bit of attention, and they're going to be wonderful. It just gets me into that mood. For the Rudbeckia and the Helichrysum today, I'm going to be using some of the organic potting mix with some Biotone starter fertilizer, and then I've got some Garden Tone. I didn't have enough of this in the barn, so I'm just going to use some of this because I had an open bag. So that's what we'll mix together for those 2 plants. And then for the sedum, I'm just using the organic potting mix. I'm opting not to use the cactus mix. Usually that's what you would want to use for sedum because they want a fast draining soil. But I'm using terracotta pots, and I'm not bumping them up into a huge container. Terracotta is so breathable, and we're so dry here that I find that using the organic potting mix holds on to enough moisture to keep them happy to where I don't need to be watering them every day. And I'd have to be watering them every single day in our climate if they were in cactus mix to keep them happy. But I will not be adding any fertilizer into that soil. It'll just be straight potting mix. All right, so now I'm gonna move the lettuce. We'll get our workstations set up. I've got my potting tray to help mix the soil, and we're just gonna start into this project. First one is done. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to water these in. They're going to be so happy. I mean, look at that. That's quite the bump up in home size for these root balls. I'm just using containers, mostly containers that are used. I like to hang on to stacks of these so that I can do projects like this without having to go buy pots. I did buy a few pots, plastic pots for the Rudbeckias because I didn't have pots big enough. Proper procedure is to clean your containers. I think it's like a 1 part bleach to 10 parts water, right, solution to sanitize them. I typically don't do that unless my container, like the plant in the container prior to it, had a problem. If it had spider mites, aphids, anything like that, then I will clean and sanitize the containers. These have been sitting empty for a long time. Dry and empty, and they didn't have any issues with them prior. So anyway, that's why they look a little bit rough. Let's grab another one. So I just fill them about yay full. And then to rough the roots up on this one, they're fairly soft. Some of these can be so hard to break up the root memory, but I break up the bottom like that, and then I'll kind of rough the sides just a little bit. Right, like that. Then we'll introduce that root ball into our new container and then backfill the sides with our soil that has the starter fertilizer mixed into it. I've got the soil tamped in around that root ball. I did make sure to leave about 1 inch lip so they're easy to water. So I need to do this about 33 more times. That's how many pots I have. I don't know how many of these I have, so we'll get through as many as we can. 7 of these repotted. I do have 5 that I did not have pots for, so those will just sit here until I have available pots. And the 5 that were left were kind of the crummiest looking ones out of the lot. I think I could shear them back though, and they would do just fine. These look awesome though. Oh my goodness, just seeing them in a larger container, well watered, little bit of fertilizer in that soil. I think that these are really going to benefit from that. And it would be so great to have all of these ready for spring, hopefully even a little bit bigger than they are right now, so that we can use them in a bunch of spring planters. The reason I have all of these to begin with, Russell, always looking for an opportunity for pets. But I explained it in the topiary video when we pruned all the lonicera, the box honeysuckles that I just showed you. Typically every season I put in one larger order at the garden center for containers here or containers that we're planting around town or other people's homes. And sometimes I just don't use some of them that I order. Sometimes I order a little bit heavy, so I have a handful of plants left over. And in this case, it was the helichrysum and the lonicera. But I don't want these plants to go to waste, and if they get to a point in the winter time where we can pot them up and maybe make them happier, that's what I would like to always be able to do. So I'm thankful for the table space in here and the heat in here just to keep the edge off, to keep things happy. Same story for the coral carpet sedum. I did take one out of the container just to show you what the root ball looked like on these. And you can see they're fairly heavily rooted for a sedum. And I feel like they would do better if I could get them out of their containers as well. They were struggling with aphids a bit. In fact, if you look close, can you see all kind of like the white specks? That's just leavings. Like, I don't see any aphids anymore. We sprayed them with pyrethrins and they seem to have handled it really well. So we're just keeping a close eye. So what I'm going to do, I just poured 1 bag of just the plain organic potting soil, did not add any fertilizer in, and we're just going to pot these. Also, it took 3 full 1 cubic foot bags of soil, plus I had a part bag. It was like a quarter way filled. So 3 1/4 bags of soil to pot all those up, which is not bad. I already had all the containers on hand, used containers, so why not? For the most part, I'm going to be putting these in terracotta, but I think this is a really pretty lemon pot from Unique Stone. I think this is called the lemon pot. No, maybe not. Maybe it's like a cherries something. Anyway, it's cute. I'm just going to put 1 of the sedum in here. So like that. Introduce the root ball. And then I'm going to pack some soil. You know what? This might be a time where I pack soil around the container. Give it one of these. This way I don't have to mess with all the dangling stems. I don't want to wreck any of these. Pop that out. Done. So easy. Just a little bit more room for that plant to grow. And then you can pour out the extra soil that went into that container, and I save all of these containers too. We will use them this spring later on to pot up seedlings. Okay, let's get the sedum done. Ooh. Ew, what in the world? Just mold? I think so. I don't see any bugs or anything. Are done. I ended up putting 5 in this low blue ceramic container because I thought it would be a really beautiful, simple table centerpiece, like outdoor table centerpiece for somewhere. We have blue cushions on our wood table up front underneath our ash tree. So that would be kind of pretty to have a blue container right there. And I think that they'll do really well. Now I did, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's soil in between each one of them where they can kind of root in and start to fill in like more of a carpet. And then in this size, I believe these are 8-inch pots. I planted 2. So 1 here and 1 here. Same goes for this one, and this one right here. This one looks really good. Look at that. And then just 1 in this little container here. Oh, it just makes me happy to see all of these things in the proper size containers, fresh soil. Ugh. All right, guys, so the last thing we're gonna tackle today are the Rudbeckia. So these do require a dormancy period. These are hardy though to 0. So they are a zone, what is that, a zone 7? We're a zone 6. So, I mean, these are borderline being able to survive outside. But just like all other Rudbeckias, they would need to be cut back and grow back fresh in the spring. They need tremendously long days, like really long, bright, sunny days in order to trigger blooming. And they will bloom through fall. Like they're a great fall container plant because they will continue to bloom. However, the bloom quality and the stem length are not quite as good as they would be in the middle of summer. So I think what I'm gonna do is try to eke out as many blooms as I can before they succumb to their natural life cycle, where they need to be cut back and allowed to, grow back fresh from the ground. Some of them are a little bit better than others. Like this one, I need to deadhead, but you can see like fresh blooms coming out, but they are shorter stemmed, but we can still cut these and bring them inside, and I would really like to do that. Look how beautiful that is. There's some pretty blooms up here. I'm gonna groom off anything that looks like this, any of the crummy looking leaves. So they're going to be kind of tattery looking and not great even when I'm done with them today, but they will look a little cleaner. But then we have ones that look like this, not looking super great. So this one I'm going to probably take back to, there's like a bud forming right there. I'll take this one back quite far. But these have been kind of a beast to keep watered because they are root bound. See? Look at that. Whew, my goodness. They need to be in bigger containers. And these are all Indian summer variety, except this one I think got snuck in. Look at this. That is so absolutely gorgeous. It's the only one that looks like this. The rest of them look more like a classic Black-Eyed Susan. Just that dark colored center with the bright yellow petals. This one's got that ring, kind of like a Suncredible Saturn sunflower. So pretty. All of those are in 1 gallon size containers. So ideally I would have enough 2 gallon size containers to bump them up. I have 9 and I think there are 10. Yeah, 10 Rudbeckia. So I'm going to put 1 in a 3 gallon size container. And these I had to pick up. They are reusable, which is nice. These are clean, reusable, but it kills me that I even had to pick these up. I'm usually really good about hanging on to stacks of every size of container of, plants that I'm putting out in the landscape every year, because it's inevitable. I usually have projects like this where I could utilize them again, but I'll be able to use these again too. Okay, same kind of process here. I'm gonna mix some of the garden tone in with the soil. We're gonna groom them up, pot them up, rough up the roots just a little bit, water them in. all done. Oh, they look better, even though, you know, some of them look a little bit sad. I left any stem that had a bud on it, so hopefully we'll be able to cut that for taking inside. And some of them just look really nice. Oh, love it. Also, I didn't even think about the fact that when I was potting these up, I would have extra 1 gallon size pots. So I was able to pot up the last 5 of the Helichrysum. So this whole row is looking amazing. It actually looks good not to see those scabby looking plants sitting on the ground back there anymore. And then this side, looking really nice. The other stuff I have in here, well, we've got the lettuce right here. And then I've got just a few herbs, some mountain mint, lavender plants, let's see, sage, and then a stack of these trays. So I save all of these too, not every single one, but quite a number of them because it's super helpful to have these to transport things around. And then on this side, I just have a few things. The olive tree, the Chicago hardy fig that defoliated but has big buds on it. I mean, it's looking good. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I have a ZZ plant that wasn't doing great inside, so we brought it out here. And then we have 2 sleeping kitties. They're actually getting along right now. And this is a perfect time to note the differences. See how much lighter Cheddar is? And Russell's a darker orange. Also, if you can see Russell's feet, then you would know for sure. The extra toes. Hey, kitties. Russell, Cheddar. Kitty, kitties. Hello. Yeah. Look at that foot. Oh my goodness, you've got big mitts, Russell. And then in the grooming process, I just clipped a few of these off. We'll take them inside. I like to put them on my kitchen windowsill. They look so bright and happy. And I'll plant the Orlea the next time I do a potting project in here. I just thought that if I had extra soil when I was all done repotting that I would plant these. And this is it for soil. That's all I was left with. I went through a total of 6 1/4 bag of soil today to repot everything, which I think is really good because how many plants total? 47, 51, 54, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 69. 69 plants today were repotted. Some of them, like the sedum, went into the same container, but I think that that's really good for just the 6 bags of soil, and they're only 1 cubic foot bags. That is it for today's video. I'm super happy with how everything is shaping up in here. It's just starting to look very tidy and ready for the next kind of push, which will be seeds. I'm going to start some of our early stuff even earlier, like the Lysianthus. I'm hoping to start this week. I usually start it in January at some point, but they're always so tiny when I get ready to plant them out that, you know, a couple extra weeks would not hurt the process at all. And we've got the space in here, so we may as well get those things going. Also might try for some early ranunculus and anemones, so that's kind of on the docket. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was like motivating, I guess. I don't know how many of you guys have things to repot right now, but it kind of goes into all areas. Like right now, I am just so ready to go take Christmas stuff down. I'm going to take Christmas down, go through all of my decorating tubs and, you know, donate some of the things that I just don't find myself using from year to year and start going through drawers and stuff like that. I'm feeling the urge. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.